Hello and welcome to another one of our Bible and Cake episodes. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a little while since we had such a staff time together. It's always a time of great fun and enjoyment. Zach, I'm sure, has got a few things up his sleeve.
Yes,
yeah, it's an opportunity for us as a staff team to share something of what God is doing in our own lives personally, as by way of encouraging you. And don't forget, you'll be able to put comments as well. Details are below the screen, so put all your comments or any insights that the Lord's giving you. But of course, we have to have a Bible, which we've got. We'll be showing that in a minute. And we've got some cake. And so today, we have got some apricot cake and also some chocolate cake. And this chocolate cake has been made by my sister-in-law because it was my birthday on Tuesday. You were very naughty, Zach.
If you, our previous weekly update, give that a check out. It was rather funny.
Zach stitched me up. Anyway, I'm not going to tell them what's in the chocolate cake until if they want some.
Well,
anyway,
imagine chocolate.
There's certainly a lot of chocolate.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's delicious. So thank you to my wonderful sister-in-law Gouls for making my birthday cake.
Yes, thank you very much.
Anyway, this time of year you really love, don't you, darling? What is so special about this time of year?
Well, the theme of what we're doing is qualified to run, compete and to finish. I'm looking forward to the conference in November. And I've had the privilege of going to Wimbledon this year, and talk about competing is absolutely incredible. I had the privilege of watching some matches yesterday, and I mean, I'm a tennis player, I love tennis, but this was at a whole different level. And in order for them to compete, they would have had to train and train and train. And it was just a joy to watch them on that court. And I think we're down to the semi-finals at this stage. I don't know when you'll be watching this, but the top three, Federer, Nadal and Djokovic, are through to the semi-finals with a new semi-finalist. And talk about competing and running the race. Those three particularly have done it over many, many years, and look what they've achieved as a result of their efforts. So it's been great to watch, and yeah, really good.
Nice. I do love the Wimbledon hype in this office. I haven't met anything like it before. It's usually football, but it's been we've been very involved with the tennis, and the staff team out the other day, it looked like a fun time for sure. So
well, it was almost all. You weren't with us, were you, Zach?
Oh, it was good. I was holding down the base.
Yeah.
Something
Billy
like
no
that.
meets.
Exactly.
That's not fair, is it? No, Sharon and I and Nigel went up, so we had a really great day. So again, there's some pictures on Instagram, aren't there?
There are some pictures on Instagram, yes. So indeed, you go check that out. That's at Precept in UK down here, as you can see in the bottom hands part of the screen. So today we are going to be doing a small activity as well, based around competing, because we've already previously done running, which you may be able to see on YouTube and also on the previous Facebook videos. So now we're on to the compete section, based around our qualified event. And today is a fun little task. I haven't told any of the staff team about it. And basically, when we compete, we zone in. We don't think about any distractions. We are the ones running that race. And it can be easy to be put off by others. It can be easy to look at others. But I heard that when you're running a marathon, like the one thing that's going to slow you down the most is looking back and seeing others running as well. So it's all about that driven goal. And so today, I've got a small activity based on distractions, and so
I've got a distraction here actually, Zach.
Yeah, dive in, Nigel. So we've got this small box here. It's got a plate on it, as you can see, but also has holes in the sides. I promise you, it's not. My hand's not going to disappear when I.
This is one that Zach's made earlier. You
it
rustled
is, yeah.
this up in the office.
I'm not quite the Art Attack King, as Morley pointed out, rightly so. But I'm going to place that right down the front here. We've even got a separate camera as well that we're going to have later on in the show, so you can see what's going in there. But yeah, what it's going to be is I'm going to place random objects in there. You've got to feel from the sides, and you've got to tell me what you think. what you think is in the box. I'm gonna have to. There's some of them that make noise, so when I put them in,
No spiders, please.
I can't make any promises, Sharon. Okay.
As long as there are no spiders.
Yeah.
I don't like spiders.
Do you know what? I'm surrounded by people that don't like spiders. I'm the one that has to get the spiders out if there are any.
It's true. Yeah.
Are
Spider.
you
I
okay
never
with
saw.
spiders?
I'm okay with spiders, but crabs, no. I'm not. I don't know why they have an exoskeleton. It freaks me out a bit. Anyways, getting off subjects, Sharon, how has the Lord been speaking to you in these past few months?
Well, I've been studying this book called Peace with God, just in the office during lunch hours, things like that. And it's very similar to a 40-minute book where the scripture is inside, and then you have questions, and you've got insight boxes, and you've got the bits at the end where it wraps up what it's been teaching you and stuff. But I don't think the title of the book truly gives you an appreciation for what's actually in it. And different to 40-minute as well, in that it's a 12-week book rather than 6 weeks. But it takes you through the whole of the gospel, right the way from Genesis, right the way through, so that you can understand the who, what, where, when, why, and how of Jesus. And I just thought it was extremely useful for people to use, for new Christians, or for people to be able to articulate to other people what they believe. And there's like a debunking bit towards the back, which I thought was extremely useful as well, because there's questions that people always ask. And I should have put, there it is, I was gonna say, I should have put a thingy in it, shouldn't I? There are 3 different things, and it's sort of questions that people always ask, and I've never really been able to understand them. Or sort of answer them, really. Where is it? That's the third.
And we apologise for any sound occurrences or kind of that background noise. We have to have fans on at the moment. It is a sauna in this office right now, so yeah.
The first one is everyone who does good works will go to heaven.
Yeah.
So that's answered really clearly in there, and it's good. The second one is good people go to heaven. That was interesting. And the third one, there are many ways to God. And I think lots of people would benefit from it, definitely, especially people who are new, like I said. So,
But also for you, somebody who has been a Christian for a while, it's just really helpful to go through the basics again, so that you learn. I'm sure you learned lots of things, or it confirmed things to you.
Confirming and going over things like that to know exactly where to go to scripture to then answer those questions if anything comes up with anyone who asks a question. So it'd be good for people who are working on apologetics and things like that.
Very good. There's that scripture, I think it's in Peter, which says, we need to be ready to give an account for the hope that's within us. And so you're equipping yourself with that ability to be ready to tell people about Jesus. Yeah, that's great.
No, that's great insight, Sharon. And that's available at precept.org.uk/shop. Yeah. And what is the category that's under?
It's under other, because it's not a K. Arthur book.
Okay.
It is Molly McInnes Farlow and Al Whitting Hill with a foreword by K. Arthur. So it is Precept Ministries International, but it's just 2 different.
And Molly's been very involved with Precept for many years. This is not this
Molly. This Molly, another Molly.
Molly Farlow, who's the author of that book.
In
Singapore. So she's a Precept student, so no doubt it'll be an inductive way of doing it. But yeah.
It's called Peace with God. Great study. So yeah, good.
Right, I think it's time for the first round of this challenge.
The moment of truth.
It is indeed. It's going to be, so because of the fact that right now we can see underneath the webcam as to how the set looks, I don't want any cheating for people to be looking in. So on top of the box here, as you probably make out my bad handwriting, it says look here. So the people that are going to be assigned to putting their hands in for the round, for the guessing.
Yeah. Have we got to be blindfolded? Should we do our blindfold?
You have to. I'm 100% counting on you to be 100% truthful.
Oh, look, we can do this. We can make sure we can avert our eyes.
Whatever it takes. But yeah, so I just realised we have a lot of bubbles and cakes around as well. Okay, so if we go with,
Do you want us to move this?
sure. If
We'll
we
move it.
go one at a time. So
Okay.
I will prepare it.
Okay.
And I'll just eat cake.
And
We'll just eat.
You've been eating cake. How's the cake?
You say it's chocolate cake, is it?
Yes, it's full of
different.
chocolate.
It's different chocolate cake. Then.
It's different, isn't it?
It is different. It's nice.
Something else in it. There's a beetroot in it.
Sharon, go to the top of the class.
Yeah.
This is a beetroot chocolate
It's
cake.
got to be good because my sister made it.
Yeah.
And I love my sister, and she's a wonderful lady. And so,
She's made
her
it
name
for
is
me.
Kay. Her name is Kay, but nobody calls her Kay. She's called Ghouls. But
That's another story.
That's another story. She doesn't look like a Ghouls. But anyway, moving on.
Dig yourself in a hole.
okay, so if I can take that plate off of you, Nigel, or if you want to just go a bit to the front a bit, just out the way nicely.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
There
So this is the first object. Eyes
I
closed,
won't
or looking at the top of the box, whatever it takes. I'm gonna just quickly show it to the camera so that they can see what it is. It's that is the thing that it is.
The thing that it's called.
Oh, I'm not going to give any clues away, Sharon. Again.
Okay.
Okay. So I would like you to hold your answers until the end.
Okay.
But we'll go with Nigel first. So if you put your hands out in front of you, Nigel, fill the box. That's it. And then so through the sides, it's on a plate. So
It's on a plate.
so.
Oh gosh, it feels like a furry something or other.
Oh, you're
You're
not
going
meant
to
to
say
say that.
anything.
No answers.
Oh, okay.
It's cool.
Oh, dear.
That is the weirdest thing I've ever felt in my entire life. Okay.
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 If you
Move it along.
slide it along.
Okay, mommy, there you go.
Try not to look.
No, don't look.
What is that? Huh. Oh, that's cute.
Okay. We've had furry, and now Molly says it's cute. Now on to Sharon on the end there. Just reach out. That's it in front. Eyes down, Sharon. Eyes down. No. Okay, so the grand reveal is, in fact,
Have we
the
got
sheet.
to say what it is first of all?
Oh no!
I was going to say a sheep.
You're gonna say a sheet?
It's a
Okay.
rubbery sheep.
It's a
Yes,
it
that's
is
what I
a
thought
rubbery.
it
Oh
was.
my goodness! What have I done? Okay.
I didn't think. I wouldn't
That's
have
the
got the
coolest-
colour,
that
but
is
I
the
did know it was a
coolest-
sheep.
That's a really creepy feeling.
That's
actually.
why I went for that one,
Rubbery
Sharon,
yuck.
in particular. Yeah.
The Lord is my shepherd.
That's brilliant. I
I
like
think
that.
this sheep would need a shepherd, don't you?
Do you know what gave it away?
Looking like
What
that.
was that?
The long ears. It was the ears, and then I could feel the eyes, and it felt like Shaun the Sheep looked.
It did.
Oh yeah, it looks like Shaun the Sheep.
Yeah.
A purple Shaun the Sheep.
Purple Shaun the Sheep. Okay.
Right,
That's
is that the first one?
That
So
is the
we're gonna
first
put-
one down.
Should we put him up there?
I don't want to do
Okay.
that. Yes. So, Nigel, what about
Yeah.
you? How has the Lord been speaking to you this past
Well,
week?
we are coming to the end of a second part of our study on Hebrews, and I don't know whether you've read Hebrews, studied Hebrews before. I have to confess I hadn't really. We've been at it some time now, and it's almost every chapter is like a new revelation of who Jesus is. I mean, the book is all about Jesus, of course. But there are just some verses from Hebrews 10, because we've been studying this just recently, which I just want to read. It says, "We have been sanctified through the offering of the body of Jesus Christ once for all. Every priest stands daily at his service, offering repeatedly the same sacrifices, which can never take away sins. But when Christ had offered for all time a single sacrifice for sin, he sat down at the right hand of God." And I think what's come to me is, as we've been studying Hebrews and looking at the Old Testament and looking specifically at what the priests went through every day, continually, and then the high priest once a year, and all the things that the high priest had to do, and the numbers of bulls and animals that were sacrificed. Christ has done away with all of that by his one sacrifice for all time, for all people. And I think what a burden that will have been lifted off those who are going through that process. And But what an incredible truth for us, that it's a once for all sacrifice. And you were talking about works, weren't you, a minute ago in that book? You know, it was almost as if they had to, you know, God laid down that pattern for sacrifice, but we can't earn our way to salvation. Christ has done it all, and we just need to trust in what he's done. So it was the point that it was a once for all sacrifice that really struck me, and it's such a wonderful truth.
Amen.
So Hebrews 10, and that's verses 10, 11 and 12.
And we're on that's Hebrews part 2 as well with the PUP study.
Yeah.
Also available at precept.org.uk/shop. Now on to the second round. Hopefully I won't
give the answer away.
I won't give the answer away before the
Okay, so I'm not going to look.
let's see what we've got.
On your lap.
Okay. And you're not to look, and you're not to say until Zach has said, what do you think it is, okay?
Okay.
The thing is, you pass along the line, you can sneak preview through the hole.
No, you cannot, because you've been asked not to cheat.
No, you're not
right,
allowed
close
to
your
do
eyes.
that.
Okay, closing eyes, please. I'll put this on here. So this is what I don't know if it's going to focus in. Can you just see? If it can focus. Yeah. There's more to it than just this. So I'm going to ask the rest of the team if you could Molly and Sharon, if you plug your ears for the first part.
Well, you need to tap us to tell us when we can.
Yeah, so we'll ask Nigel to. I don't know if you can hear that, but
I can hear something going on.
So Nigel, if you want to touch the box in front of you.
Yeah.
And then through the sides. I don't know how this is going to last.
Yeah.
Now bring it.
Oh my goodness. That is.
You got a good feel for it?
Did you say my name?
Oh wait,
No.
sorry, no, we just.
That's quite tricky, actually.
So get the.
It's quite tricky.
It's quite a texture to. Okay, that's time up. Too much. Otherwise.
Okay.
Now we gotta prime it. I mean, now we've got to prepare the next round. For Molly, if you want to touch the box in front of you, and then. I didn't realise it was quite this rapid. But
You're allowed to pick it up.
You are allowed to pick it up. Give that a feel around.
Okay.
Okay. I will get ready for the final one. Mod, if you wouldn't mind tapping Sharon on the
Put
shoulder.
your hand in the box.
What's your okay. So as
You can take it off the table so we can open our eyes.
okay, I will take it off the table.
Yeah. Okay, so.
Can we open our eyes?
You must first reveal what you think it is.
Okay.
We'll start with Nigel.
I thought it was a mini aeroplane,
Okay.
because I thought there may have been a propeller on the front of it that was going around. It's obviously making a noise, so I didn't think it was a helicopter.
Okay.
Because I thought the propeller was on one end. But
Okay.
if I'm honest with you, I'm not convinced.
Sure.
But it could have been that.
Okay. It's a bold statement.
I think it was a bee.
A bee. Okay.
Some sort of insect, anyway.
Some sort of insect. Sharon, what about you?
I thought it was a bath toy, like a submarine.
A submarine bath. Okay.
Because my son used to have one like that. It was a shark.
Yeah.
Wind it up and it would go like that in the water.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, you would have been on the money with an animal, as Molly pointed out, insect. But in fact, it was a little alligator, kind of crocodile.
Bath toy.
So you wind him up and his legs start swimming.
Well, Sharon, we share that because you got the bath toy bit.
That is very, very clever. How I got an aeroplane out of that, I've got no idea. You see little stub wings, maybe? I thought little stub wings.
Yeah. And
So
then
propellers at the front.
Oh, okay. I see. I
But
see where you're going.
that hasn't got many aerodynamic qualities, I have to say.
Sure. So we'll write that up on the shelf as well, if that's cool with you, Molly.
Yeah.
To go.
Right.
So,
Molly,
do you want
yourself.
me to say
Yes.
something?
Yes.
as Nigel said, we've been looking at Hebrews, but so been really focusing on the Lord. But I was really challenged on Sunday when I heard this verse again from Galatians, which was, "For in Christ Jesus neither circumcision nor uncircumcision means anything, but faith working through love." And it's that phrase, faith working through love, that really challenged me, because it made me stop and think about, how am I doing life? What's my motivation in what I do? And it's all very well having faith in Jesus, but actually, how does that look? What does that look like? And I mean, it's just sort of multifaceted, but obviously Jesus loved me and died for me. My response is to put my faith in him and love him, but actually I'm to love everybody around me. And so I'm just trying to work on that, check my motives and my actions. Are they born out of love, rather than it just being a reaction or a response, or either negative or positive? So yeah, I think just practically that's been very helpful, very challenging, particularly this last week. Yeah, and what does that sort of verse say there? Yeah, and when it talks about circumcision or no uncircumcision, again, that fits in really with what you were saying, Sharon, what you were saying, in that we've got this love relationship with God. It's not because I have to, it's not because I'm forced to, it's because I'm loved. And so
it's a response.
It is, it's a free will response. So it's just looking at that again with fresh eyes and just being so grateful and thankful to the Lord that he loves me. And last week I gave a short talk at the filling station, a local meeting, and I challenged the people to think about how they would quickly respond if people asked them why they believed in Jesus. And have you heard of the elevator pitch? Have you heard of that phrase?
I don't think I have.
No. An elevator pitch is when you have literally a few seconds, you're in an elevator, you've got a few seconds to speak to somebody before they get out. So I was thinking, well, what's my elevator pitch? Well, that I know that I'm loved, I know that I'm forgiven, and I know that I've got a hope in where I'm going. And so that kind of all is tying in with me at the moment.
Yeah, and there's that, I always get, the one that's always used at weddings, 1 Corinthians 11 or 12. Is it one of the two? Or is it? About love. 13. About the... Are you kidding me? I always say 12, and I was like, no, that's way too late. It's 11. So I went before rather than after. 13. Just about the effectiveness of what we are gifted and what we are given, and then our response from that. And I know it has that application when it comes to marriage, but also at the same time, just in general day to day as well, about how we can love one another. No clanging cymbals. I
mean, absolutely. I mean, that's the whole point of it, isn't it? That it's not, we can be as gifted as you like, but if we have nothing, we are like a clanging cymbal. And so we can be doing the most amazing things for God, serving him. Well, it says here, doesn't it? I can surrender my body to be burned, but do not have love, it profits me nothing. And so love is the currency that should drive everything that we do. And I'm challenged by that, because so often it's not. And so that's why the Lord was really speaking to me about that.
And it's actually getting a glimpse of what the love of God is. If we get a glimpse of what the love of God is, then we can seek to put that into practice with others. Because we're all from a context, aren't we? And we have different experience of what love is. And so if we try and put that on the Bible, it's the wrong way around. We need to understand what God's love is. And you look at, I'm really challenged by Jonah and the fact that God sent Jonah to the Ninevites. And the Ninevites were so evil and so horrible, but God loved those people so much that he sent Jonah there and to tell them about God. And so there are people out there that we may not naturally love or want to associate with, but if we get God's perspective on love, then there's nothing that would stop us going to those people to love them. So I think that's interesting, isn't it?
And correct me if I'm wrong as well, they were receptive to the word when it was...
They were 8 words. Yet in 40 days, God will overthrow Nineveh. 8 words was what's recorded in the Bible, and as a result of those words, they all changed at that time. I mean, later on it wasn't so good, but at that time, God spared his judgment on them.
Of course, yeah. We're talking of love. I don't think you're going to be loving me after this third and final It's okay. So this
Look
one
away.
requires
Oh, we need to be competing,
the
aren't we?
smallest bit of prep. So
Okay.
I need hands and ears as well, and I'll give Nigel a tap on the shoulder when I'm ready. So Nigel, hands and ears as
you
well.
say?
Yes, please.
Okay.
So this is what the third and final one is going to be. No endorsements, sorry. This is what it's going to come out like. I will prepare it. Oh my goodness, this is going to be something else. Hopefully. Okay, this is what it's come out looking like. So I'll give Nigel a tap on the shoulder, center that bad boy up.
Okay, we on the way?
So yeah, we're good. So whenever you wanna.
Oh my goodness! Oh Zach! Oh Zach! That is. I'm not allowed to say anything. My eyes are sealed. But you know what? I'm done. I'm done. I'm completely done.
Okay, so if we
Okay.
pass it on, if you use this so that you cover your hands so that Molly can't see what's gone.
Oh no! Oh no!
That just made it 10 times better. Okay.
Oh no! I shouldn't have done that.
Eyes closed, mate. That's
I
it.
seriously should not have done that.
Okay.
Is that you're a bad man? Oh, that is gross.
Grab it, Sharon. Grab it.
I can see.
That's it. Okay. I'll clear the table. I'm sure. When you hear what Nigel did, oh my goodness. Okie dokie. Right. So.
Okay.
Eyes open. Any ideas,
I know
Nigel?
exactly what it is.
Shaving foam.
Do you know why?
I was teaching Zach, I need to spit out here. I was teaching Zach the importance this morning about context and the importance of context ruling interpretation.
Clear your mouth.
And so I put my hand in there and I felt it.
They saw you.
And,
they knew exactly what you
because
did.
we've been eating cake, I thought it was cream. So just to check, I just went a huge thing and I ate it and I realised it's not cream.
It isn't cream, I'm afraid.
And I need to.
I love the confidence that you just
Pick your
went
napkin,
straight
darling, and put
for
in
it.
your napkin.
I need to spit out.
Okay.
Zach, I'm going to get you back for this.
I'm sorry.
Yuck.
So while Nigel's sorting out, I will share what the Lord has been teaching me.
Soft.
Live in harmony with your brothers.
I'm not out to deceive. So mine. I was in how the Lord's been speaking to me came from Joshua chapter 5 and it's verse 12, and I've just been trying to continue with reading 3 chapters a day when I get up in the morning to be able to. I find that 3 chapters works for me for a devotional because it helps me to not only think I'm going to have to rush through a chapter and then just get on with my morning. I know that different amounts of chapters, different books can speak to different people, so I'm not saying in any particular way that it's the right thing, but it works for me. As what Precept is mainly about is finding the study that works for you, and we have a range of different studies from lightning studies, short time introductions for each and every person, but also down to our PUPs, which are based a lot more deeper, using homework and study to really draw more out of the text. Again, those are based around chapter studies, and this my one comes from Joshua. So Joshua chapter 5 verse 12, and it says, "And the manna ceased the day after they ate of the produce of the land, and there was no longer manna for the people of Israel, but they ate of the fruit of the land of Canaan that year." And what really spoke to me was This comes in Joshua, well after Exodus, and we're currently going through Exodus in my church at the moment. But just to see how the Israelites continue to sin in the desert, and I've passed it on that it was just incredible to see God's patience throughout the whole process. The fact that He was willing to provide and show great love in the way of manna, even when they were offering to the golden calf, even when they were out cursing God, and there was just so many instances as to when He could have just completely cut that off, and He decided, you know what, it took until they reached the promised land and started eating the fruit of the land of Canaan that year that they actually the manna ceased, which is just a great way to know that God perseveres with you and is always there. It is a heart condition as to whether we come to Him and accept that love and accept that grace daily. It is hard to we know that the mercies are there, but then to react from them and to praise God as a result of it, I know isn't always the forefront of my mind. I'm always busy and looking to get on with things, but God is always there to provide, and it's incredible to know that. So yeah, I hope the taste of shaving cream is evaded your mouth.
That wasn't on it.
There's got to be a spiritual lesson there somewhere, hasn't there? There has got to be a spiritual lesson. So thinking it's one thing and tasting it and it's not.
Yeah.
False prophets, false teaching.
That's it.
You know, it looks like the real thing,
But it isn't.
but actually it's not the real thing.
Yeah.
It's really not the real thing. So maybe that's the lesson. Maybe that's the lesson.
Well, it fits really well with what I was saying about from Galatians, because Paul said, you foolish Galatians, who's bewitched you? Why are you going back to the law when you've been set free by grace, by the Spirit and by grace?
Yeah.
And so we want to make sure we don't get into legalism.
So that doesn't
What are you going to do with that then?
This is our visual aid for today.
Yeah,
Going to
don't
put it
get
against my
into
jumper.
No
legalism.
endorsements. We have
This
to
is
turn it
the
around.
visual aid for today.
That's the one.
False teaching, false prophets. We need to be mindful, because it looks like cream, but it's actually not cream.
That's it.
I wouldn't want to put that on.
No, for my cake. Okay.
Okay, well, thank you very much, and don't forget, we are basing all of these around to run, to compete, to finish, and that is to do with our qualified conference, which is going to be held in the Emmanuel Centre in Westminster on the 9th of November. Be sure to get your tickets completely free, with Kay Arthur, who's an award-winning author and also teacher as well. So something you don't want to be missing out on coming out to the UK.
Absolutely not.
And tell your friends as well. Tell your friends. And the conference is 9 days after Brexit. And Kay has a very prophetic edge to her teaching, and it'll be very interesting to see how she brings in the theme of qualified with what's going on politically in our nation.
So I want to know, because this was all about competing, so not being very competitive. You see, I have lived with 4 men for a long time, and they are highly competitive. So where do we get up to the scores on the draws?
Oh, well, I think the scores on the doors, I think it showed great focus and concentration. I think what you were zoned in on, definitely on the first one. And I think that's the one. And
Sharon was pretty zoned in on the second one.
with animals and doctors.
And I was completely not zoned in.
You saw the 2-0 lead and you thought, I've got to go all in this round. And I think you definitely knew it wasn't just your standard cream. So I think it's one apiece this week. But there can only be one winner, and so we just got to keep preparing ourselves and making sure. But when it comes to the race, in terms of what we are basing this qualified conference over, be sure to be there and find out that may not always be the case.
And just to leave us with this verse again, I read this verse this morning. If I can find it. Let us consider how to stimulate one another to love and good deeds. And there's this whole idea of encouraging one another. And so in the Christian faith, we're not competing against each other in that sense. We are going together as the body of Christ. So we're encouraging each other and we are competing as one team. And sometimes I may slip behind and Sharon can encourage me and vice versa. And it's just good, isn't it, as believers in Jesus, that we are exhorted to encourage one another. So I love that. So yeah. Because that's the next one. Yeah. He's about to give away the next section, but we'll wait for another day for that one.
Definitely. Well, thank you very much for tuning in today. Be sure to catch up on YouTube as well at Precept UK. Follow us on all the social medias. And we look forward to seeing you again in the future as well.
And we want your comments.
So thank you very much.
Bye for now.
Never again, Zach. Never again.